What's up, YouTube fam? Good evening. Building up your credit all the way to the point of funding. That's what we're going to talk about today. Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me set this bad boy up. Now, I tried to do this earlier and I had hella technical difficulties. My phone and computer both
Back in
overheated
2022, I lost two very important
because it was too damn hot outside and it crashed and everything turned off. So we won't run it back. As you join in, go ahead, even when you watch the replay, let me know where you're tapping in from. This topic came up from a Zoom call I was on yesterday. I was in a class, it was talking about business funding, the state of things, and where a lot of people are. A lot of people got access to funding, and within a year, 2 years, they experimented, they tried different businesses. Some businesses went great, some businesses didn't go as well. So a lot of people are looking for funding, but they're in a position where everything's maxed out on both sides, on the personal side and on the business side. They'll say things like, hey, if you have debt on the personal side, you can move it to the business side, right? And it's true, you can absolutely do that. The part that they miss or skip over is that the business side does care about your utilization, especially if you're not paying it off. Can you carry high balances? Yes, you can. But can you just continually carry them without paying them down? No. And there's going to be a lot of people right now, or there's a lot of people currently in position where they have to start from scratch. Either they have to let all the credit cards go and just default on everything and do charge offs and deal with those repercussions, whether it's, being sued or whatever. And then there are people that are just filing bankruptcy. So they are starting their journey over from the rebuilding period, right? It's just how it goes. It's unfortunate, but it's the name of the game, especially when you're new to credit, new to business. You start a business, you're not familiar with how that business operates. So these things happen, right? These are the chances that everyone takes, we take as entrepreneurs. I think, even Elon Musk was on the brink of bankruptcy before Tesla actually took off. So where people are isn't uncommon. The other part is even consumers now, consumer debt is at an all-time high. So there are going to be a lot of people who aren't business owners who just took advantage of all the free-flowing money. There's still a lot of people who will be starting from scratch. Okay? I'm actually working with some clients. And so throughout this video and live, what I'm going to be going through is how to rebuild your credit and funding options. And really, depending on what stage we're in, we're really just talking about ways of building up your credit are available to you. Now, of course, there are tens of thousands of funding options, okay, between traditional banks, alternative lenders, fintechs, right? You got hard money lenders. There are thousands of ways to get access to capital. So, of course, this won't be an exhaustive list of every single kind of available funding, but my goal is to give about maybe 3 to 5 options or opportunities that you can research, look up, and take advantage of. And this is going to be for different credit profiles. I notice, not everyone is in the same exact position. This, why can't I post this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Do. Sorry, get this. Let me see this right here. My bad. I'm getting this link together. Let's see what else we got. Delete this. Boom. Nope. Still not. Oh. Sorry. I'm gonna go through a couple of these. All right. So I'm gonna put this up here. Cool. All right. So going back. Lots of different ways for folks to get funding. Ooh, that link, that looks pretty ugly. So be it. I don't know how to make it look pretty on this thing. But anyway, I'll drop the link in the chat. We're going to go through how to get funding depending on what your profile looks like. If you're in the rebuilding stage or you have no credit at all, you're completely new to credit. If you're in a fucked up place, like if your credit fucked up, like you just ain't got it. If you already have cash flow, but you have bad credit, or vice versa, you have good credit, we have low cash flow. And then lastly, where we all want to be is we have good credit and we have great cash flow. That's the final stage. So let's start at the top, right? You're new to credit, and you don't have any. This doesn't have to be reminiscent. It's not based on your age because I'm actually working with a 45-year-old woman and an 85-year-old woman who have no credit whatsoever. They just grew up at a time and in places where credit wasn't popular. A lot of people in my community, the black and brown community, they're scared of credit. They don't know how to use it. All they know is that it's bad for you and don't even bother with a credit card. So they're actually in a position where we have to start from scratch. The great thing about when you're starting from absolute scratch is that you can build it the right way. That's the best part about it. You can build it the right way. What I like to do is when we're talking about building credit from scratch, you have absolutely no credit whatsoever. Always start off with, you want to start with using authorized users. Okay. You can do authorized users and do that with your friends and family. It's free. Now, don't stop there though. Get you as many authorized users as you can, right? Ask everybody who has good credit and they pay their credit cards on time. Ask them to add you. They're going to wonder. I get this question all the time. Will this hurt their credit? No, it has absolutely zero impact on the other person's credit. It doesn't show up on their credit report. It doesn't do anything to their credit card. It has no impact on them whatsoever. As a person being added onto the credit card, you can be hurt because if that person decides to max out their credit card, miss payments, stuff like that, that will show up on your credit report. Okay. So make sure you keep that in mind. It does not hurt them. It can only hurt you. That's one thing. You got that out the way. But don't stop there. Never stop at just authorized users. That's not enough to actually get approved for anything. Now you need to build up that credit report. We want to get up to 10 credit lines, okay? Or trade lines as they call them. If you're starting from scratch, here's a couple of cards that you can use to build. One is called the Chase Rise card. This is a brand new card. I think they just released it maybe last year or earlier this year. It's a starter card. You get it by opening up a Chase account and depositing $250. Here's the great thing. Chase is now offering a sign up bonus or a checking bonus. Is good, Parker, man. How your day? It's they're offering a bonus of $300 to open up a personal checking account. So you can get $300 to deposit into that account, and then you just open up the Chase Rise card. They will pull your credit for it. Now, in a couple of months, 6 to 12 months, the Chase Rise card is going to unsecure and automatically upgrade to the Freedom Unlimited. The great thing about that is you go from just a base level card to a entry level rewards card with no hard pull. And Chase has the best point rewards mile ecosystem like in the country. Well, one of them is one of the big four when we're talking about points, miles, travel hacking, right? So definitely start with the Chase Rise. The next one is, let's see. The next one is the Capital One Unsecured Platinum, right? They have unsecured and a secured platinum card. You can get either one of those when you're building your credit. They also have a student card, right? So if you're a student, you're the ages of 18 to 25. You can get the Capital One student credit card. You can also get the Discover It student credit card. Okay. Either one of those, if we're talking about building up your credit from scratch. And you have to do all this because that's when you're doing all this as you go through the phases so you can get to the point where you can get actual funding. Okay. Now you got those. You can also get a secured credit card from Navy Federal. Everyone likes Navy Federal, even though they recently changed their terms and conditions. But with their secured credit card, it can unsecure within about a year. So what that means is that they'll give you all your money back, and then they'll increase your limit, and you can continue to keep the card and use it without any kind of without them holding your money. Okay. Another account that you can use to build up your credit is called Credit Strong. That will show up as an installment loan on your credit. That has different levels. If you want to go big boy all the way, go ahead and get the $10,000 one and make that monthly payment. It'll do $10,000. It goes up to $10,000 for 5 years. It's a heavy hitter trade line to use to build up your credit. Okay. So you built up your credit, you're on to the next level. Or let's say right now you're in a situation where, for lack of a better term, you just fucked up in the game. Like life has been lifing, and you just like, Jamal, I'm fucked up right now. Like I had a consultation with someone who retired from the military. They retired early, and they were like I'm out. I'm going to retire. I'm going to live off my savings, and I'm going to live off my credit. Well, guess what? A year later, they are almost maxed out, and they don't qualify for traditional funding because their credit utilization is too high. Hear me out when I say this. Once your credit card utilization is over 50%, you are basically dead in the water when it comes to getting any funding. Okay. I highly encourage everybody, if you're watching this or watching the replay, when you see your credit utilization creeping up, especially creeping up towards the 50% mark, you want to take action. Apply for another credit card. ask for a credit limit increase, or this is where you want to start looking for um, either personal loans or credit card consolidation loans or credit card payoff loans to bring that utilization down. Because once you're at 50%, you go over that 50%, nobody's touching it. Nobody's touching it. I know that from a fact, from helping a lot of clients overcome that particular obstacle. Right. Now, if you're in this position where you have bad credit and low or no cash flow, this is, I'm going to be honest to everybody watching. Share this out, share this live out to everybody that you know, right? Whether they're in a good position, bad position, because we're going through all the different levels from no credit all the way up to great credit. If you're in a position where you got bad credit and no cash flow, I'm sorry, funding is not the topic you need to be worried about at all, unless you're going to fund other people to make some money. But for you, if you're in a position where you are like, man, Jamal, I just need some funding. I don't got no money right now. I'm not working. I got the credit card utilization super high. Like, what can I do? In this point of the game, the goal is to make money. That's your goal right now. If you're just in a fucked up place, you don't got credit and you don't got no cash and you don't got no cash flow, your goal is to make money. Get a job. If you have a job, get another job. If you got two jobs, start a side hustle, something. But the goal here is to get cash flow flowing, because just getting access to a bunch of credit and then trying to get access to more credit doesn't do anything but just put you deeper into debt, and it doesn't help you if you're not creating cash flow. There has to be cash flow. There has to be money coming in for a bank to want to give you money. This is on the personal side and or on the business side. Now I get it. It's not, the job market is crazy. Money isn't flowing like it was in 2020 where everybody thought and felt like a millionaire. So while you're out there doing your thing, building up your cash flow, whether you got a job, you got two jobs, you got a side hustle, you're selling lemonade, you're selling your stuff online, Etsy or Craigslist or whatever, Facebook Marketplace, you can also look for personal grants. Okay. There's a guy on here. If y'all know who Matt Lesko is, so old white, this dude has been talking about getting money from the government since I was like 5 years old. Okay. There's an old white guy with the outrageous glasses and question marks all over his jacket. His whole thing is he teaches people how to get government grants for personal reasons. New laptops, getting your clothes fixed. What else? Anything you can think of, y'all. Medical stuff, child care. His whole page is dedicated to that. Go there, look that up, go like apply for that stuff. Okay. I know I'm going to get to the credit stuff. Don't worry, but I'm talking to my people who are like, I got bad credit and I don't got no money. You got to do something. So along with that, you also need to start, of course, fixing your credit. Now, of course, you don't have any money. The great thing about this is that there are nonprofit credit counseling and nonprofit debt management organizations. You can literally Google this. Okay. They got national ones and they have ones in your local area. Just fill out the form. They will actually call you. You can set up an appointment with a credit counselor and with a debt management specialist. It's all free because they're nonprofits. And they'll actually help you get out of debt. They'll actually help you improve your credit. They'll do both of those things. Okay. Another way of getting access to, so along with doing that, you can also start to get access to capital through what's called a quick loan. So a quick loan is pretty dope because a lot of credit unions offer these. Quick loans are, I call it a pulse in a paycheck. So a quick loan is a bank statement only loan. Well, it's not even a bank statement, it's proof of income. So it's not limited to bank statements, but bank statements, if you get alimony, if you have a pension, if you get an SSI check, as long as you have a pulse and proof of income, you can get money from a credit union. These quick loans don't pull your personal credit at all. They typically have higher interest rates, but it's because they're not checking your credit. They're literally just going off of the fact that you showed them a pay stub. You typically have to be a member with the credit union between 3 and 6 months before you become eligible for the quick loan. That's why I gave you those other resources, have your job, apply for those personal grants, work with the nonprofits so that you can start also sustaining yourself until these quick loans open up for you. And the amount of time you have to pay back the quick loan ranges. Some you have as little as 2 months to pay back the quick loan. Other credit unions give you as much as a whole year to pay back the quick loan. They dollar amounts. Quick loans range anywhere from $500 up to $5,000. Now, that's pretty fucking amazing because there's really no limit on how many credit unions you can join. And if you just so happen to join as many credit unions as you can and create relationships with every credit union in the country that has these quick loans available, boom, guess what you just did? You just opened up access to essentially bank statement funding for yourself as an individual, right? Now, who are some of these banks? Some of these banks include Digital Credit Union. Some of them include, another one is Credit Human Credit Union. Another one is Unify Credit Union. These are just three. There are a lot more. I have a video. I think Mercury Federal Credit Union is another one. Andrews Federal Credit Union is another one. They offer these kind of quick loans, and again, from $500 to $5,000. You may have 2 months to pay it back. You may get 12 months to pay it back, but it's still a way of funding yourself while you're rebuilding, right? While you're out there job hunting, while you're applying for personal grants, getting help from nonprofits, etc. Another great thing about these quick loans is that they do report to your personal credit. So you can use quick loans as literally a free way to rebuild your credit. Because if you're in a position where you got bad credit and you got low cash flow, you're going to have to start rebuilding at some point. So this is a great way that you can manufacture trade lines onto your credit report for 100% free. It's not sort of kind of free. It's 100% free. No money out of pocket. While you're doing all that, apply for all of your state programs that you can until you're at about a 680. Once you're at 680, boom, guess what? You just unlock the cheat code. You can start applying for real credit cards at that point. Real credit cards, personal lines of credit, and loans. All right, once you're at 680. During this process, well, you can build business credit at this point, but business credit takes money. So I'm not going to tell you to build business credit if you don't have any money, right? But that brings us to the next level. The next level is that, boom, you've been busting your ass. You got the job, that side hustle's picking up and it's turning and starting to grow into an actual business. So boom, now you got cash flow coming in. I typically say cash flow is like $5,000 a month and up. At that point, you kind of can sustain yourself as an adult or, a family, right? But your credit is still not optimal. You're still below a 620, right? Or you're still below a 680. So it's still considered subprime. But when you have cash flow of $5,000 or more, you can essentially buy credit. So what do I mean by buy credit? So at this point, instead of working with a nonprofit, you can actually pay somebody, a credit repair company, to fix your credit, right? It's going to cost you, anywhere from 100 to, well, anywhere from 50 to 150 bucks, depending on where you are, who you know, whatever, right? So you can pay somebody, they'll get you those results. Could take 6 months, a year, whatever. But point is, they're fixing it, and you don't have to worry about it at that time. You can still apply for these quick loans because now you're showing revenue. Well, you're showing income going into these different bank accounts. So you still can use the quick loans that I just spoke about earlier, right? You're also in position to start buying trade lines. So when I say buy a trade line, I'm referring to setting up secured accounts. You can start making deposits. You can open up secured credit cards and secured loans. The Navy Federal Pledge Loan is super popular. Everyone loves it. There are other credit unions that offer pledge loans that operate just like Navy Federal. Okay. DCU does have one. Service Credit Union has one. Well, no, Service Credit Union does not operate like Navy. With Service, you have to pay the loan off in full before they release you the money. Okay. Then you also have your typical secured loans from the big banks. What is it? Chase, Bank of America, all that good stuff. Now, also while you have this cash flow coming in, you can start building up your business credit. This is pretty dope because it's going to open up literally an entirely new world, right? Even with your cash flow, you can start register your LLC with the company, and you can start going for those net 30s. Net 30s do cost money. You may end up spending anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a month building up your business credit. That's if you want to do it. Okay. You don't have to, it's not required. And even with building up your business credit, you want to be very specific about what business credit cards you want to go for. Because on the business credit side, most of the credit you're going to get is from a store. It's like store credit that doesn't pull your personal, basically. Okay. So you can get business credit from Sam's. You can get business credit from 7-Eleven, Nordstrom, uh, Walmart, right? Citibank and Costco has a business credit card. Lowe's has a business card. Home Depot has a business card. And these would be EIN only cards based on how well your business credit is built out. So when you have cash flow and bad credit, you can still build up your business credit, which will basically allow you to access all the necessities in life. Like you can buy, I mean, what can't you buy from Sam's or Walmart? Like everything's there. Tires, oil. The only thing you're not getting at Sam's is a car. And guess what? When you have business credit built out, you can buy a car with your business credit. So this is where just having that cash flow opens up another opportunity for you to continue to live your life, get access to the things that you need to get access to, and continue down the path because you don't want to stop there. Continue down the path to having good cash flow and good credit. Now, also, when we're talking about cash flow on the business side, because of course, cash flow on the personal side is amazing. We absolutely want to have income. Same thing on the business side. When you have revenue, even without business credit, even without personal credit, they have revenue-based financing. With revenue-based financing, you got these fintech credit cards. These were really big during the pandemic because everyone was like, "Oh, I can get you all this. I can get you business funding. I can get you business funding," and they would basically just get you a fintech charge card. But even though they died down in popularity, they 100% still exist. They 100% still work, and you can 100% still apply for them without a hard pull. As long as you have revenue, what these cards are going to do, uh, plug directly into, they're going to plug directly into your bank account. So that's Divvy is one. Divvy is now called Bill, Bill. You have Ramp, you got Revenued, you got Torpago. All of those are like fintech business credit cards that don't require a personal guarantee. They don't require a personal credit check. Oh, Cap on Tap. That's like one of the OGs. Cap on Tap is still around too. Now, Cap on Tap does a soft pull on your personal credit now. So those are like 5 different cards that you can use to fund yourself with no credit check. As long as you got cash flow, you can get access to those. Also, on the business side, we have something called revenue-based financing. Along with fintechs, we have lenders that will lend to businesses that are 1 year old and doing $5,000 or more in revenue. These lenders are pretty dope because also they don't look at your credit. They may do a soft pull on the personal, but they're still more worried about the cash flow and the debts that you have. As long as you have that revenue, as long as you have a business that's 1 year old, you'll be able to get access to up to $5 million. That's one of the companies that I partner with, Rock Financial. They offer this type of revenue-based financing to small and large businesses, as long as you're 1 year old and you're doing $5,000 or more in revenue. So this is a great opportunity that I show many of my clients who may have an operating business. They've been in business for 12, 20 years. Their credit ain't the best, but they're in full-blown operation. I had a client who owns an auto repair shop. He's been doing it for 20 years. He brings in about $9,000 a month. Connected him with Rock. He was able to get approved for about $42,000 based on his revenue. Okay. So it's a great opportunity to still get access to capital. So now you got the cash flow, you're still building up your bad credit, and then finally you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are getting good now. The business is thriving. You've been working. The side hustle is picking up, or you can quit. You can stop working 2 jobs because you found one job that pays you twice the amount that you are making while working 2 jobs, and you have even more money to get rid of some debt, right? The credit repair company done clean you up. Your credit report is looking spicy right now. It's looking amazing. So now you're in. No, I lied. So we got the inverse. We got. I got ahead of myself. We got cash flow with bad credit. Now let's flip it. You have good credit, but not a lot of cash. If we're talking about funding, this position is actually easier to deal with than the other one, because if you have good credit and low cash, you can just go out and get access to cash. You can literally hop on your computer and just apply for credit cards, and boom, you immediately have access to money that you can use for whatever. Now, I'm going to tell you to use it to make more money and to at least cover your regular expenses. Like if you need a roof over your head, pay your rent, keep the roof over your head, keep the lights on, keep the gas, right? Outside of that, keep your car if necessary. Outside of that, use this is a great time to use a small portion of the credit that you have to start basically experimenting with different business concepts. There are a shit ton of them. I can't even begin to start naming some. People invest in crypto. People invest in the stock market. Some people decide to buy a car and do delivery or Turo or Instacart, DoorDash, all those type of things. Um, Courier services, right? Maybe there is a certification or an exam that you need to take that will allow you to literally double your income just overnight. You'll have the opportunity to pay for these things to level yourself up, put you in a better income producing position because now you have good credit. All right. Now, some options for good credit. We see these are we see these options all the time. So of course, now you're in the world of unsecured credit. So it's kind of like sky's the limit. You got credit cards, right? You got credit cards. We got Chase. We got Chase. We got Amex, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Truist, the Bank of the West, the Bank of the South, the state of Illinois Credit Union. Like, just name it. Credit cards, right? Credit cards are wide open when you have good credit because credit cards are stated income 90% of the time. Credit cards do not ask to see any kind of financials. They just check the score. So, oh, your credit profile looks great. Okay, here's $5,000. Boom. That's it. So you go choose your favorite banks, credit unions near you, apply for the credit cards. Now, when we're talking about loans and lines of credit, those may require a bit more documentation because it's direct as access to liquid capital, liquid cash. So with a loan, just like with the quick loans, they're going to want to see proof of income. Depending on the dollar amount of the loan you're asking for, they'll probably ask for proof of income. If you're trying to go big boy status and you want to do 50, 60,000, something like that, they'll probably ask for a tax return. So if you don't want to start coughing up a bunch of document and paperwork, because we already know we got good credit, but our cash is low, right? I don't need them to know that I really don't got no money. I just need them to see this nice 700, this nice 720. I'm gonna leave with that. So I'm just gonna ask for like 10, 15,000. They're not gonna ask for a lot of docs for that. I get that. Boom. Okay. Now there's more money in the treasure chest. Guess what I can do now that I got that first loan? I could take that money. Let's say I got a loan from Navy Federal. I can take the money from Navy Federal. I can now go to Bank of America. Hey, Bank of America, I got $10,000. There you go. Boom. Let it sit there. Maybe take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. Do that for a couple of months or maybe a couple of weeks. And then go back and say, hey, Bank of America, I want a credit card. And they're like, hey, okay, well, we see that you've been holding $10,000 with us for a while now. So I think we can give you like a $15,000 credit card. Sweet. All right, bet. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll definitely take that 15,000 or maybe 20, 25,000, right? Now you did that. Boom. You take the same money that you already borrowed from Navy that you put into Bank of America. You take that 10,000, put into another bank, start another relationship, do the same thing, right? You can go from bank to bank to bank and build up your capital that way. And then, boom, you got money now. You absolutely got money now. Hopefully, while you're doing this, you're still working. You're still doing your side hustles. You're still elevating your income because I can't stress it enough. We need to make sure we're constantly producing income, constantly, constantly. I'm speaking, I have a lot of consultations with a lot of people, and a lot of people are like, I need funding for my business. I say, okay, cool. What type of revenue you guys doing? And they'll say that they're not doing revenue at all. And I'll ask, okay, cool. Well, what's your credit score looking like? I say, well, I got a 600. Okay, cool. So we're not able to fund you. That's not fundable, right? We have to make sure that we're in constant motion, right? Constant motion forward, not backwards, but constant motion forward. If you're in a position where your business isn't producing income and your credit score is low, we need to focus on producing income. Um, the funding will only come after we produce income because investors and lenders will only want to give money to a business that is making money or can make money. It's like proof of concept. Okay. So that was when you have good credit and low cash flow, you're in a great position because you can use your credit to get access to capital and then use the capital to create your own cash flow. Or you can use that capital to simply get more access to credit while you continue to work your way up through whether you are now learning a trade and you're about to become HVAC certified or master plumber, master electrician, what have you, or you're working your way up the corporate ladder, right? Either way, you're increasing your income while also expanding your leverage with credit. And then that will put you in that final category where you have good credit and good cash flow. This is where sky's the limit. It's whatever the fuck you want to do. Name it. What do you want? What do you want? You want a Chase Ink card? You get it. You want the American Express Platinum? You get it. You want the American Express Business Platinum? You can get that too. You want the Citibank American credit card? Personal, you get it. The business one, you get that too. Sky's the limit. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it is, right? When you have good credit, the funding portion, when you have good credit and good cash flow, the funding portion isn't that hard. Isn't like just walk into a bank and ask them, hey, I got a 735. My business is doing $8,000 a month. I want to establish a relationship here. What products do y'all have? They're going to sit down with you. They're going to run through the products. And then you just like, all right, cool. Right. At this level, it's more about the strategy that you use to get access to the capital. Because in the early stages, we're just scrambling. We're just like, I just need credit. I just need money in my pocket. I just need it. I need to build this profile up. It don't really matter. If it's building up my profile, I'm all for it. But now when you have good credit and good cash flow, you can start being strategic. You can start developing credit card strategies. People don't talk about this. And I talk about this with my clients because not only do I help them get funded, I help them put the funding to work because there are different credit card strategies. I work with a lot of real estate investors who use zero interest business credit cards to acquire properties. They acquire properties or they're using the zero interest business credit cards to fund a fix and flip. They're going to use the zero interest to pay their contractors or buy the materials. Or some of them are Airbnb, where they're going to use the zero interest credit cards to furnish and decorate the Airbnb, right? So now it's not just, okay, what credit card gives me the highest limit? There are a lot of credit cards that give you high limits. The average credit union will give you a credit card that goes up to $50,000. And that's not even that hard to find out because credit unions put it on their website. You can just go to a credit union website and it tells you what their max limit is for their credit card. So it's not a secret. It's not a secret at all. And there are 4,000 credit unions. If you guys want some credit unions to investigate, of course, Navy Federal. You got Boeing Credit Union. You got American Airline Credit Union. You got State Employee Credit Union. You got Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union. You got Andrews Credit Union. You got the Department of Defense Credit Union. You got Service Credit Union. You got Justice Credit Union. You got Sunbelt Credit Union. You have Virginia Union Credit Union. Did you get my drift? You can look up all of those credit unions, by the way. They all have credit cards. They all do both business and personal. Okay. So you can get funding from any of those. Once you're at the point of good credit and good cash flow, things you want to pay attention to are interest rates. Who has a good interest rate? Is it 0%? Most big banks like Wells Fargo, the national banks, Wells Fargo, Truist, all those, Blue Ridge Bank, they will offer zero interest credit cards. Credit unions, on the other hand, typically do not have zero interest credit cards. Some do, but many don't. Many do not have zero interest credit cards. But what they do have are credit cards that don't charge cash advance fees. So you probably heard of liquidating credit cards and getting money orders and MSN and all this stuff so that you can turn the credit into cash. Well, if you get a credit union credit card that doesn't have a cash advance fee, that's immediate credit to cash. You don't have to do anything fancy for that, right? The play is finding credit unions that offer credit cards that don't have cash advance fees. I actually have a video outlining 5 secret credit unions with business credit cards that don't have cash advance fees. So it's super easy liquidation. The other thing you want to look at along with cash advance fee is, do they have a foreign transaction fee? Can you use this card anywhere around the world for free? Another one is balance transfer fee. Can I start sending, if I want to save money on my interest, can I send money to this card without having to pay another 3 to 5%? A lot of credit unions have credit cards that damn near don't have any fees whatsoever. Now, banks, on the other hand, their credit cards have more fees, but they offset that by giving you 0% interest for the first 6 months to 2 years. That's how they kind of counteract that, right? So you can start mixing and matching the cards to better suit your exact situation. So for instance, you can use a zero interest card for a while. And then let's say, for instance, no, a better thing. So you could liquidate a credit card that doesn't have a cash advance fee. Just put it in the ATM, take the money out, boom. When that balance is starting to accrue interest, you can do a balance transfer over to a zero interest credit card. So now you're not paying interest on the money you just took off of this other card, right? Right. And that's when we start talking about different strategies that you can use to maximize the lending. That's when we start getting into things like, what type of business lines of credit or personal lines of credit would you prefer? You want one that has a limited term, meaning that it ends after a certain amount of time, or you want something that's truly revolving where the personal line of credit stays open forever until you decide to close it. You start asking them questions like, what are your interest rates? Are there any origination fees? Right? These are the more advanced questions you get to ask and things you can consider when you're going for different levels of funding. Hopefully that makes sense. Also, once you're at this level of good credit and good cash flow, you're now able to really qualify for, excuse me, SBA loans. SBA loans, you want to have at least a 680. The great thing about now, SBA loans, for the most part, are going to be a full doc situation. They're going to want to see everything. They're going to want to see your income. They're going to want to have your photo ID, your tax returns, debt schedule, all of that, right? But the dope part is that SBA loans go up to about $5 million. So this is where we're talking about major projects, right? You want to buy an apartment building, maybe you want to buy a hotel, or you're looking to purchase a laundromat, or you're looking to purchase another business. This is where having going for SBA really comes in handy, right? And typically they're they can be a little easier to get than some of the hard money or alternative money that's out there that you may try to go for when trying to secure a new business. All right. So hopefully this was helpful, y'all. Um, yeah, hopefully this was helpful. You guys got some value out of this. This is really how we would go about funding each different kind of credit profile, from no credit all the way up to good credit and cash flow. In the meantime, I'm going to head out. Hopefully, I have a great one. I'll talk to everybody later. Oh, like, subscribe, check the links out in the description. Peace.